Why are millionaires so cheap? This is a question I've gotten from mostly a lot of females who've tried to date millionaires. They're like, hey, you have money. Why are these guys so cheap? So I thought I'd do an actual coaching video on this because I've also heard other dudes say the same thing. They've noticed the same thing like, hey, a lot of these millionaires are pretty cheap, man. Why? And I'm going to answer that in tonight's coaching video as somebody who is a millionaire, right? And with that said, there needs to be a distinction, okay? Because when they're talking about millionaires being cheap, I will tell you right now, almost 100% of the types of millionaires they're talking about are what we call self-made millionaires, okay? We are talking about entrepreneurs, okay? And it's usually entrepreneurs, self-made millionaires, who came from poor backgrounds, right? We grew up without a whole lot of money. We didn't have a silver spoon in our mouth. Our parents both worked two jobs, or or we had to rely on the government a little bit. It's always some type of background where we had to struggle to get to where we are today. And I am no different, right? I mean, my family did not have money growing up. I've talked about this in coaching videos in the past. I mean, I talked about how we went to Disneyland in our station wagon without air conditioning, and it was like 100 degrees out there, and we didn't have AC in our car because it was a $300 option back then. My dad didn't want to buy AC, and so here we were in the station wagon. It was like me, both my parents, my brothers, my sisters, my grandmas in the car, and we couldn't afford a hotel, so we slept in the car, right? And this was just normal for me growing up. But I always remembered it was experiences like that, that I mean, to the nowadays I cherish those experiences, right? But it was experiences like that that I've had that many others in my same position have had that make you appreciate, quote unquote, the finer things in life when you finally reach a level of success where you can enjoy those things. I mean, right now I'm at the top of Vegas here, right? I'm in my hotel room and I'm going to be here for a month, right? I'm just going to be basically living in my hotel room for a month, working, filming content, working with a few private coaching clients, and I get to enjoy this view day and night, 24/7 for the next 4 weeks. Okay? And this is at a time too where the rest of Vegas is booked solid because I usually stay at the Venetian way back in the background there. However, they're all booked up this week, and most of these hotels are all booked up. And I was fortunate to get this room, but because I come out here so often and I usually throw some dollars down, they give me like diamond VIP status, so I can pretty much get a room guaranteed to me whenever I feel like coming out to Vegas, which is nice. And it usually has a pretty decent view. This is pretty awesome, right? So these are the little perks you get when you succeed in life. However, not to get too far off track, when these chicks or dudes, for example, talk about why millionaires are so cheap, they're really talking about self-made millionaires, because people who become millionaires through inheritance or even through celebrity, right? You see a lot of these actors become rich because all of a sudden they got famous. Pop stars, rappers, those type of folks where they just kind of got rich overnight. They got like one hit and boom, all this money comes in. All of a sudden overnight they've got millions of dollars. There is a reason why these people go broke, right? After the money stops coming in, there's a reason why they go broke. It's because they never really got to appreciate what it took to earn that money, right? Because usually they hit success overnight. I mean, even for these professional athletes who work hard their whole lives to get to where they are, but suddenly it's like almost overnight they sign with a team, and then all of a sudden they have 10 million, 20 million, 30 million sitting in their bank, right? That's just like an insane, crazy amount of money. Whereas with entrepreneurs, it normally doesn't happen that fast. Usually there's this buildup, right? There's this buildup. It doesn't happen like where you start your business on a Monday and then next Tuesday you're a multimillionaire. No, it doesn't happen. There's usually years of hard work put in, and not only that, but you learn the skill of making money. Okay, as an entrepreneur, that's what you really learn. You learn the skill of making money, and this is why when an entrepreneur becomes a self-made millionaire, I mean, you could strip him of everything, right? You could take the shirt off his back, you could leave him out here on the Las Vegas Strip, naked and homeless, and I guarantee that dude within a year will be right back. Why? Because he has that skill set now, right? He has that skill set to make a whole bunch of money. Whereas the professional athlete, the pop star, the actor, the celebrity, they don't have that. Right? They don't have that because technically they're still employed. They're getting a paycheck. They're getting a paycheck from their sports team. They're getting a paycheck from their agent or their management or the record company. So technically they're still employees, right? They don't have the mindset of an entrepreneur. And this is why as soon as people stop buying their records, they're no longer famous, they're no longer popular, they tend to go broke, right? And I think there's a statistic with professional athletes where within 3 years, a lot of these guys who are making millions in the NFL are filing for bankruptcy, right? It's because they never learned that skill of how to make that money. And when you don't learn that skill of how to make money, you don't have the same appreciation for it. So how does this all tie into millionaires being cheap? The way it ties in is self-made millionaires appreciate their money a whole lot more. One thing you don't understand until you actually become rich is there is a huge difference between looking rich versus actually being rich. Okay, huge difference between looking rich and being rich. Most people out there who are trying to look rich are actually broke, don't actually have money. Whereas most people out there who you would never suspect have money would not typically look rich. Just to give you a basic scenario, back when I didn't have a pot to piss in, back in my 20s when I was broke and I didn't have a whole lot of money, I remember spending most of my money on trying to look rich, on trying to look like I had money, right? I would buy like the latest fashionable clothes. Like they weren't so much designer clothes, but they were very much in style. I used to wear a lot of Guess clothes, right? So Guess back then, I mean, it wasn't cheap. I mean, to this day, I still like wearing Guess clothes because they fit me well. But back then, I mean, I spent every dollar I had on Guess clothes, trying to look nice, buying blazers, right? Trying to look like I had money. I remember I spent like my whole paycheck on a double-breasted suit that I could walk around in, so I looked like I was like successful. And you'll notice that's a common theme that you'll do when you don't have money. However, once you make money, I kid you not, you could give two shits less. I mean, dude, I'm like wearing a Days of Thunder t-shirt right now. If I were to walk around the strip, which I often do, like wearing this Days of Thunder t-shirt, nobody would even like look at me and go, that dude has, he has some dollars in the bank. Nobody would even look at me and go, man, that dude's successful. Or that dude has hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. They would not think that because in your mind, you've been trained to think, thanks to Hollywood, movies, TV, advertising, that somebody who has millions in the bank should be wearing a tuxedo and riding around in a limousine and sitting over at the Four Seasons, drinking a cocktail like James Bond. That's what you're led to believe. But in reality, that's really not what it looks like. Unless, again, you're a celebrity, actor, professional athlete, rapper, pop star. You notice they're all about looking rich, right? They put on the latest fashions and really expensive clothes when they go to awards banquets, or you see these professional athletes rolling around in the finest Italian suits and all this. But like I said, those are the first people to go broke as soon as their careers are over, right? Whereas for the self-made millionaire, the entrepreneur, he never goes broke. He always comes up with another idea. Even if he loses all his money, he always comes back, right? He always comes back. I've always said too, if you could strip me naked, leave me on the side of the street without anything but my shirt, right? And I guarantee not even a year, give me a few months, I'll be right back. I'll be right back because I have that skill set now, okay? I have that skill set. And once you go through the grind and you build yourself up, and you go through all of the pain, sleepless nights, and like insane risk-taking, financial risk-taking that it takes to become a successful, self-made millionaire or entrepreneur or business owner, you begin to appreciate the money that you have, right? You're no longer so irresponsible with it. I mean, these days, right? Unlike when I was younger, where I used to spend all my money, effort, and energy trying to look rich, these days I could care less, right? I will walk around the strip in a t-shirt. I don't care. I don't care. I mean, if I dress up, it's because I want to dress up. It's because I'm doing pickup, doing game. I'm not wearing double-breasted suits anymore. I mean, that's not even in style, right? I'm not buying like Armani or anything like that. I wear what I like. You guys see me in most of my coaching videos. I'm wearing like rings that I had when I was part of this rock band in San Francisco, because I was like doing lead vocals for a while. So I just wear all that stuff because I like it, right? I wear what I like, I wear what's comfortable, and I don't really care about impressing anybody. But then when you come up to my room and you're here at the top of Vegas, you probably wonder, if you didn't know me, like, how do you afford that? How do you stay here for the whole month on this incredible view? How do you do that, right? Then you learn like, oh, you have a business. Oh, okay, you're successful. You know, and I have over 24 employees around the world, and now we've kind of ventured out into other businesses. And it's like, because you're busy grinding so much, you know, because I'm busy grinding so much, I don't want to be wearing a suit all day. I mean, this is very comfortable for me to take phone calls in, just kind of run around in. I don't need to be wearing a suit. I don't really care to impress anybody these days. Plus, obviously, I'm a pickup artist. I've been doing game my whole life, and I learned the less you try with women, the better your results will be. So even back in the days where I used to wear the suit and try to dress up and make sure I got my hair cut every single 10 days on the dot. These days, I just don't have the time, right? I don't have the time to impress anyone, validate anyone. With that being said, just because self-made millionaires tend to be, I wouldn't even call it cheap, I would call it frugal, right? Because we value the money we earn, right? We value it. We want a good return on investment. So it doesn't mean that we're cheap and we're not going to spend, a dime on ourselves. We're not going to splurge when we want to, because obviously we do, right? Obviously you've seen me splurge on things that I want, right? I mean, dude, I'm at the top of Vegas. I could easily stay at like a Motel 6 or a Super 8, or even in my car, right? If I want to be a real cheap bastard, I could do that. I don't need to stay at the top of Vegas. Obviously, I'm paying a premium to be up here, okay? I'm paying a premium to be here because that's me enjoying my success. That it makes me feel better when I look out into this view, and this is something that I would have only dreamed about as a kid. This is something that, my parents would have wanted me to have for myself, and I'm enjoying it, and I do this for my parents as well. Send my parents on vacations all the time, right? Because I can do that. That's my way of repaying them for all the hard work they put into raising me, my brothers and sisters. But just because there's this stigma that like millionaires are cheap, it doesn't mean that they don't know how to enjoy themselves when they want to, when they feel that there's a good return on investment. Like for me, I mean, what am I getting from this view? What type of return on investment am I getting? I'm getting an investment into my joy. It's an investment into my joy. It makes me feel better about life. It reduces my stress levels when I look out into this view. I don't need therapy. I don't need a psychologist. I just look out in this view and go, man, isn't life incredible? Isn't life grand? Okay, it's as simple as that. I bought a DeLorean, right? A couple of years back. I bought a DeLorean that was not cheap. Right? I mean, now that car, it's gone up in value. Now it's being valued at like $80,000 or $90,000, believe it or not. The last offer I had was close to $80,000, and I literally bought that car for about $55K. Right, with shipping and DMV fees, it went up to $60K. But now it's like I'm getting offers at $80K, and I'm pretty sure by next year it'll be like $90 or $100. A few of them have sold for that much. So all those idiots who are like, oh, wasted your money on that DeLorean. Da, da, da. Oh, that was a bad move. It's overpaid. It's like, yeah, dude, exactly why I'm rich and you're broke, right? Exactly why I'm rich, you're broke. So just had to stick that in there. But I splurged and I bought that DeLorean because it was something I wanted since childhood. Okay, it was something I wanted forever. It was actually the second car on my dream car list, right? It wasn't number one, it was number two. First one was the top-down 60s Corvette, which I got, right? I got that Corvette first, and then I bought the DeLorean after. But a lot of people are like, hey, why didn't you buy the Ferrari for that money? And why didn't you buy, a Lambo? And it's like, that's not really the car I want right now, right? That wasn't the car I wanted at the time. Actually, I did go Lambo shopping a few months back, and I uploaded that story to my IG, and I think I even uploaded here to my YouTube channel, right? And it was insane the amount of people who hate it, right? I'm not surprised, but you had a couple of people who were like, and they're of course both are female, right? You had a couple of people because that's their mindset is like to go and spend, spend, spend. A couple of my female haters who probably came over for my 33 channel because I walked into this Lambo dealership, right? And I was looking at Lamborghinis. I was actually there with my dad. It was something I wanted to share with my dad. Like, wow, we're finally here. We're at a Lambo dealership, and I'm like literally shopping for a Lamborghini. And it was just kind of like almost ominous for both of us, right? Just because my dad raised me, we grew up without money, and it's like here we are at this Lamborghini dealership, like legitimately shopping for a Lambo. We weren't like window shopping. I was legitimately there to buy a car. I mean, not that day, but there was a specific color I was looking for. I was looking for preferably a gated 6-speed manual and some other things that I wanted in it, right? And so we went there. That was the first one we went to. But I filmed it because I thought, oh, okay, this will be cool, you know, and I'll upload it to my channel, and guys will love that. And, you know, hopefully it'll inspire you to do the same. And, you know, for 99.9% of the guys who follow me, it inspires them. But, of course, there's that 0.002% of haters that will look for anything negative to say about it. So, like, the chick was like, oh, if you really could afford it, you would have just walked in, you would have bought that car, and we would have left with that Lambo. You wouldn't be wasting their time. It's like, no, dumbass. That's exactly what you do when you're an idiot, right? This is exactly what you do when you're a celebrity or a pop star, or you make your money in a way where it just gets handed to you and you don't appreciate it. You just buy things like a drunken sailor because you're an idiot, right? And this is what leads to those people becoming broke after their careers are over, right? Self-made millionaires, entrepreneurs do not make dumb decisions. This is why we are able to create successful businesses where we can employ hundreds, even thousands of people, and we can continue to thrive in our business because we don't make spontaneous, impulsive decisions that most people who end up broke make, right? So here, I mean, I'm looking at a $250,000 vehicle. You don't make that purchase in 1 hour, right? Unless you're an idiot, a pop star, actor, celebrity, rapper, some shit like that. But again, what happens to those people once the money stops coming in? They go broke. Okay, there's a reason why entrepreneurs hang on to their money. This is why we just continue to get richer and richer. It's because we don't make dumb decisions like that, and we know what we want. Right? We know what we want. So I did not see the Lambo I wanted in the showroom. And even if I did, the exact car I wanted, if it was in that showroom, I still would have slept on it at least one night, maybe even 2 nights, just to think about it. And if they sold it in those 2 days, good for them. I would have been like, okay, it wasn't meant to be. I'll find another one. It's fine. I'm in no rush. I'm not impulsive. I don't make, I don't make those type of irresponsible decisions overnight. It's something, especially for a purchase that large, it's something that I need to think about. It's like buying a house. I need to think about it. I need to scope out the neighborhood. I need to think this through, right? That's how you become successful. It's because you're able to exercise that self-discipline. Okay, you're able to exercise that self-discipline versus a person who is constantly just impulsively spending whenever they see something they like. They can't help themselves but to whip out their wallet. So it was hilarious to me that this chick actually like had that comment. I wasn't surprised because that's how chicks usually spend, right? Who are irresponsible. And this is why chicks never have money. They don't have 401k. They don't have any investments because they spend like drunken sailors, right? They don't think about their purchases. There was also another guy who was hating in the comments. He was like, oh, that you could tell that salesman was irritated because you didn't buy anything. You wasted his time. I'm like, no, that dude works at a Lamborghini dealership. He knows that people in there, unless they're dumb, are not going to buy the car the same day. That's why he shook my hand, gave me his card, and said contact him anytime, 24/7, because he knew I was serious, and he knows that only an idiot moron would come in there and drop $250K on a car that they haven't test driven, never seen, and that would just show you're an idiot, right? And those type of people who work at those type of dealerships, Lambo, Ferrari, anybody who just comes in and buys the car without knowing anything about the car, without thinking it through, they lose respect for you. They have no respect for you. Those people are like, what a moron, right? What a moron. This idiot's going to be broke in about 2 years. It's the guy who comes in and he thinks things through, right? He's patient. Again, he's not impulsive. He doesn't lack self-control. And no surprise, that's the same type of mentality that will allow you to become successful in the world and build a successful business. Is you have to have that control over your emotions. Okay, and I know I'm kind of going all over the map with this coaching video, but a lot of nuggets I just dropped. I mean, even in the last 20 minutes alone. But in a nutshell, the reason why millionaires, technically self-made millionaires, are frugal. Okay, the word cheap that's probably not the best word to describe a self-made millionaire. Self-made millionaires are frugal. Okay, you're not going to see them trying to make it rain constantly. I mean, unless it's something that they feel like they want to spend on, right? But it's never going to be to show off or to get validation, right? And this is why I always tell like chicks who are like trying to like be gold diggers and find guys with money. I'm like, the last person you want to date if you want to try to extract money from him is a self-made millionaire, an entrepreneur. You'd be better off, way better off, finding yourself a celebrity, actor, rapper, pop star, NFL athlete, NBA player, Major League Baseball player, because those guys will throw down on you, right? Those guys will wine and dine you. Those guys will try to impress you. They'll take you to a 4-star restaurant, right? They'll take you on their jet and fly you around and do all this other shit, and they won't give two shits about how much money they spend. They won't even give it a second thought. Whereas somebody who is a self-made millionaire had to really bust their ass to make the money they did, to get to the position in life they're in. Those guys are not just going to hand their money over, right? You're a fool if you think they will. Those guys, in many ways, will be cheaper than just an average guy without money, right? I mean, there'll be certain aspects of his lifestyle that you can enjoy, but don't expect him to buy you a car, get you a condo, pay your rent, or anything like that. That ain't happening, right? This is why, like, when guys sometimes, like, they see me with a girl or out on a date, they're like, what is, she must be living it up and all this. And you can talk to my girl now. You can talk to the girls in my dating rotation who date me. They don't really see the benefit of it outside of just accompanying me in my journeys, right? Like, my girl right now is out with me in Vegas. She's here in my room. She gets to enjoy this view with me, right? She gets to enjoy it with me. And just like any family members, if they came out, they would get to enjoy it with me. My wingmen, sometimes they come out, or friends, sometimes they come out, they get to enjoy it with me. And I love to share it. I love to share people I care about, people who are close to me. I love to share stuff like this, right? But I don't go out and buy these people cars. I don't buy them houses. I don't do stuff like that. My parents, I send them on vacation, stuff like that. I mean, if they, they're doing pretty well these days, but if they needed me financially, obviously I would be there for them because they're my parents, right? But as far as girls I date or anything like that, I mean, I'm not whining and dining these chicks whatsoever, right? They get to enjoy, like, the view if they're with me. They get to enjoy the view and certain aspects of the lifestyle that go with being financially well off. But at no time do they ever expect that I financially take care of them or pay their bills or, buy them free meals or anything like that. Because I'm like, dude, I'm not dumb, right? Because I value the money I make, because I bust my ass for it. I work hard for it. Even shooting this content, right? It takes time. It takes energy. It takes work. So it's almost better to come from nothing and then work hard, force yourself to get to where you want to be, find your path and purpose, and get to where you want to be, achieve some success, and that way, not only will you value it, but you will have what's called perspective, right? And you'll develop a skill set where you can duplicate it, right? If anything ever happens to you financially, you can duplicate your success. Whereas if you're a celebrity, actor, a professional athlete, you really can't duplicate that success once your career is over. Or say you get injured, right? A lot of these professional athletes, once they get injured, it's over. Unless they have a guaranteed contract, and unfortunately, a lot of them don't. You only hear about the ones that do, but you don't hear about the thousands of NFL athletes and, NBA and Major League Baseball that don't have guaranteed contracts and they get hurt, can't play anymore. What are you going to do now? Now you got to take, a job digging holes in the street when you're used to being in this stadium and all this. So those are my thoughts on why millionaires, really self-made millionaires, are so cheap. Frugal is the word I prefer because cheap implies that you're not willing to spend a dime on anything. But I mean, I do splurge on myself when I want to, right? I mean, I travel a whole lot, and I normally don't travel for just like, back in the day when I was broke, I mean, I would be lucky if I could get away afford a hotel for 2 days, right? And usually it was a motel I would stay in. Where now I could stay in this hotel for the entire month and even beyond. I don't have to go back to LA. I don't have to go anywhere. I could stay here as long as I want. Okay, I was even actually house shopping in Summerlin the other day. So those are all brand new houses. I posted that story on my IG. I mean, the thing with money is, it's not so much the money that changes your life, it's the options that change your life, right? It's the options that money gives you that you don't have when you don't have money, right? But there also has to be this appreciation for the money you make, and this respect for the money you make, where you don't just like throw it away on frivolous things, right? It has to be on things where you feel like you're getting a good return on investment, a good value for your money. And even like buying my DeLorean, that was something that wasn't, in my opinion, frivolous, because was one of my childhood dream cars. This is something I wanted. Okay, it was something I wanted forever. Same thing with the Corvette, the top-down Corvette I bought. It was something I wanted since I was a kid. For me, that's not frivolous. For me, frivolous would be buying like a gold Rolex, or like, a diamond necklace, or buying like a $3,000 Italian suit. It's just not something that I see value in. I don't need that. Even with like picking up girls, I mean, again, I could pick up girls in this Days of Thunder t-shirt all night long if I wanted to. And I can run circles around guys out there who are driving their Lambos around, walking around in their, $1,500 shoes and Gucci, and could run circles around those guys. It's power of games, power of pickup. But anyway, I know we're all over the map on tonight's coaching video, but I want to make sure I drilled home as many points as I could when it comes to money and becoming successful and becoming a self-made millionaire, and really identifying the fact that the more successful you become, right, the more you will value your money, as long as you've worked for it, right? As long as you've worked for it. Because if you're just getting it handed to you, you're never going to value it. You just won't. Okay, you will be that kid who literally walks into the Lambo dealership and drops $250K like it's nothing, because it's your parents' money, or because you just, signed a contract with some team. But as soon as that money dries up, you'll regret that decision. You'll be like, why did I do that? Why did I spend so much on that Lambo? Whereas for a self-made millionaire, entrepreneur, we don't regret these decisions, right? We know the value of that. We know the value of what we buy. Even with the Lambo I was looking for, there was a reason I was looking for a specific Lambo, because I know the return on investment in that car, if I ever wanted to sell it, I could get more than what I paid for it in the future. I've always been really good with buying cars that have gone up in value. And obviously my Corvette's gone up in value. My DeLorean's gone up in value. And that was another thing. I had guys back then going, oh, you should buy, at the time I bought it was 2017. They were like, you should buy the 2017 Corvette. Don't buy that old Corvette. It's like, yeah, look at the 2017 Corvette now, right? Those things were going for what, 75, 80? Now they're like 40 grand, half its value. My Corvette, I bought that thing for, I want to say about like close to 60, almost around the same as my DeLorean. That car, it's gone up in value. Okay, not as much as my DeLorean, but it has gone up in value. Whereas if I sell it now, not only will I get all my money back, but I will get 5 figures more, right? Because I've had offers above and beyond what I paid for that car. At minimum, like the last offer was $15K above what I paid for that car. So this is why when we buy things as investments. Okay, we don't buy things because we want to look flashy or, it's the latest thing. No, we buy things as investments, and usually, obviously, something that is special to us. Obviously, the Corvette Stingray was special to me. The DeLorean was special to me. That's why I bought those cars. I didn't buy, a Ferrari California or something like that. It'd be fun to drive around, but it's not really something that I really dreamed about owning. It's like, okay, whatever. Back in the 90s, I did actually have a Ferrari at one point, and I had that car for a good 6 months before I lost everything. I put every dollar I had in that car, and then I proceeded to lose everything because I had a business back then that for a very short time became successful. But instead of investing that money back into the business, I wanted to look rich. I wanted to impress people. So I bought the Ferrari, and then I proceeded to go broke. So why do you think I learned my lesson? I mean, as anybody would, right? You learned your lesson, and this is why you don't walk into a Lamborghini dealership and drop $250K on a car that you have never driven and never seen before. It's idiotic. Drop your comments below and share as always. And until next time, this is Matt Cross from AlphaMaleSecrets signing out from the Las Vegas Strip. I'm here in my hotel room, going to be out here for the month, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Go ahead and smash it right now. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you are notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton whenever you subscribe to my channel. It tells YouTube that you love my content, you're digging it, and you want me to produce more of it. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel as well. And for all of you guys who want to support my work and all this red pill, gold pill, and Roni pill content even further, the best way to do that is by becoming a premium subscriber of my premium AlphaMaleSecrets channel, which I am hosting on a private platform away from the YouTube. And the reason why I'm doing that is to protect my content from YouTube in the event that they shut us down one day. All of my premium AlphaMaleSecrets content will be protected on that private platform. And if you're a member of it, you'll be able to access it anytime, 24/7, 365 days a year. And this is the absolute best way to support my work, guys. So I really appreciate it if you jump in and become a premium subscriber. Right now, it's only $1 for the entire first month of premium AlphaMaleSecrets content from me. It's only $1. So it's real easy to take advantage of it. Just click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.